All right, here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the NFL Week 15 Prediction Show. I am your host, Juan Rodriguez. In a little bit, I should be joined by my good friend Maria. She made her debut on this page. Last week, we talked a little bit about the Raiders and then her group. And, she's an admin for the Only Nation, Raider Nation fan group, so she will be joining us today to make our predictions. She did make a good prediction last week on the page saying that the Eagles were going to beat the Saints. She got one right, and all of a sudden she feels like she can predict anything now. So we're going to see what happens. Let me actually send her a message. Oh, I think that's her. I think this is her. Yep, that's her. Just waiting for her to connect, and we'll get rolling here in a little bit. But yeah, so it's just going to be the same. We're just going to talk about the games this weekend, and then we're going to do our picks and everything. And there she is, the person of the hour. What's up, Maria?
What's going on, my good friend Juan?
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm going to tell you a little story about me. I'm a big procrastinator. I was like, I know we talked about this. I had quite a day, and I said, you know what? I usually cancel plans. I didn't want to do this. I said, he's expecting me. I need to go on here and humiliate him and tell him that, his picks aren't all that great.
Oh,
no,
thanks.
I'm just kidding. I was looking forward to it. I'm relaxing.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking, let me set a laptop, but I am in comfort zone. So that's how it is. How was your day today?
It was fine. Nothing out of the ordinary, same old. Go to work, got to pay some bills, and that's life, man. That's life.
Yeah, we did. We're going to, we'll share this to the group. Be interesting. I know when I shared it before, they're like, okay, where are you at? I says, man, I just jumped on there, started talking some ball and stuff. So, I really haven't looked at the schedule until like an hour and a half ago. And unless the game, the matchups that I did know and everything. So, pretty excited about some games this weekend.
Yeah. I'm gonna call it right now. I'm very impressed that you picked the Eagles over the Saints. I think you and some other person picked them, and that was it.
Yeah, there's somebody in the group, Pablo something. Him and I seen him, and he asked me my upset, and I have a little secret. My upset was going to be Miami over KC.
Ugh.
And I was like, no, I don't think that's going to happen. I was thinking about it. I had a conversation with somebody at work about it, and they go, I wouldn't mess with KC this week.
No.
Maybe in the next couple of weeks, especially with Pittsburgh losing. That was a very valid point. So I'm kind of glad that I went ahead and fly, Eagles fly, because, that was a, nobody has it like us. But yeah, it was a pretty good pick. I had thought about it, looked at it. I says, you know what, that's what's going to be. So after that, I got my momentum. I go, what now? Why? Let's do this.
Yeah, but, you are actually the first bravest soul to go up against me for predictions. So it's like, okay, let's do this then.
I'm a little iffy because I've watched your page since you've started doing this. You and I do some talk in the football group. And when I saw a couple of your predictions, I says, man, he knows I'm not going to mess with him. But then I started watching. I was like, okay, let's do this. All right, I'm going to challenge him. Let's go. No. So I thought it'd be fun. Hey, I know that a lot of the games that you picked, we did pick some that were a little bit different, which it makes it fun. Everyone has preference. So I was able to look at it real quick, the schedule, and I'm ready to do this, man. I'm ready to do this. Let's see what we think.
Well, it's kind of ironic that you want to start this week because the first game right off the bat tomorrow, Chargers, Raiders. What do you got for Maria? What do you got?
We want to do that one first and get it out the way.
Oh, we're going in order.
All right, we're going head in. Okay. Oh, my goodness. That, of course, we know the big hot topic has been the defense, okay? The defense has been a really big topic. We know that San Diego, they're growing. They've got some growing pains. There's some struggles going there. My only thing with San Diego, besides it being a division game, they're really those.
Los Angeles, Maria. Los Angeles.
I'm saying that. I'm a horrible football person. So the only thing about them is they get there. Like, look at how they played against us. Look at how they played against Kansas City. I mean, the division games are different, but things that they're doing around the league. I mean, that young guy, that's future there. So they just got to get him again, like what we saw in the past, weapons, and that team potentially can be back in a contending spot. I don't know what the situation is on their coach and stuff, but I'm pretty excited to see what they're going to do. I think again we got Ruggs out. Ruggs is out. We've got Farrell out. We've got Abram out. We've got 4 on the defense out. Who else is out? Is Nick out?
Nicholas Morales is out. Damon Arnett is out. Jonathan Abrams out. Yeah, so it's a lot.
Key in the safety right there. I mean, you got. I mean, I don't know, man. I've been scratching my head with this one all day. The only thing I think that the Raiders have to play is that there's still that possibility for them to get in there. I like to look at the last 2-3 weeks of the season as spoiler weeks. So the Chargers are very well one of those teams that can ruin it. And not even that. We've got Denver in 2 weeks, right? We've got Denver. Oh, yeah. Great. So this was tough. I'm silver and black faithful. I am going to take the Raiders to win this game.
Oof. All right. Here we go. So you mentioned the defense is just bad. It's just bad all around. The Chargers look different from the first time they played them. Remember, last time they played them, there was no Austin Eckler. One of their wide receivers was down, and their linebacker core is still kind of suffering from injuries. However, Eckler is back, and that's a huge game changer, especially against that defense that couldn't stop the run the last couple of weeks. Justin Herbert's going to be Justin Herbert. I mean, that dude is the future. I mean, San Diego or Los Angeles did it right. Yeah. Los Angeles did it right by picking Herbert. I thought maybe last draft they should have gone offensive lineman. But if they were right, Herbert was right, and I'm here to be on this show to say I was wrong. So it happens. I think in this case now, with everything happening to the Raiders, from losing players, changing staff on a short week, the Chargers are getting Eckler back. I love my Raiders too, but I got to go with the Chargers on this one. I think that one player just kind of changes the dynamic of the game. It changes everything. So I'm going to go Chargers on this one. So that's already 1-1 differently. I mean, even though...
Let me make one addition to that game really quick. So what I like... So, of course, I wake up. Most people wake up to the news and other things. I wake up listening to football audio. So another thing I like, again, I mean, I think I defended this with Carr's on the spotlight. He's ready to roll. We come out, again, I don't want to talk too much about this team. I'm like, look at you. Look at you come out, you went toe-to-toe with Mahomes. Even granted, we lost that game. And I'm thinking, okay, he's got that fire. He's mad. He's ready to roll. You already know what happened to that. I really like Carr. I really do, more than just a player, just because, the whole local thing. But you obviously see the group today. Those people are off the hook. I don't know. It's really, I'm coin flipping here. What the future? What? Maybe I'm not saying Carr's not a great quarterback. I just don't think I'd hate him. I'd love for him to succeed and be a 16-year like Phillip Rivers. But I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be with this team.
I'm going to put it.
It's very scary.
What I usually tell fans is this. I love the players, but I love winning more. And I'm going to leave it at that. I love the players, but I love winning more. So if changes got to be made, then changes have to be made, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So
we'll have to do something. I mean, obviously we'll do more, but I think we need to look at that, like how many quarterbacks there have been in the last so-and-so. I think somebody put in what the defense looked like since 2002. That this defense has not ranked at a high level since 2002. Let's go back to that, And then what was on the other side of the ball?
Rich Cannon.
Exactly, and a high-powered offense.
Oh yeah.
So that's a whole different. But since then, I mean, those of us have been fans for a long time. Even in the 90s, it was like when Buffalo was smashed at 58-3. I'll never forget. I sat through that game, 12, 13 years old. Like, I can't believe this is happening. But again, I don't know. I'm really going to be gambling on. Not so much gambling, but it's a toss-up when it comes week to week. I mean, I know we haven't played the Chargers, but I'm already thinking of my pick for next Saturday, which we'll do next week.
Of course. So,
Miami.
speaking of Saturday, it's the season that keeps on giving, and the NFL is going to give us 2 Saturday games this week.
I know, right? How lucky are we?
So the first one,
Very lucky.
we got the 10-3 Buffalo Bills going up against the 5-8 Broncos. So the Bills are kind of resurging. This is the most points. They're scoring 28 points per game. That's the most since 1991. Maria, I was born in 1991. So it's been a long time since the Bills have been somewhat relevant, and they look like they're back. The Broncos look like the Broncos again. They thought they found their quarterback, and it's not working out. The defense looked good, but now they're sputtering again due to injuries. I'm going to go out and say it. I don't think it's going to be any close. I think Buffalo proved they can make a deep run. I'm going to go Buffalo over Denver on this one.
Yeah, we look at, and I'm going to agree with you. I mean, that's really not a discussion there. We got Diggs just hit his 100th reception. You have the Bills, I believe, are ranked 3 or 4 in their offense. The only thing that I think that's going to make Denver get through this game is going to be that defense. Granted, the record doesn't show, and they're not getting those W's, of course, but their defense is still, I think they're like 16, 17, and if somebody's on here, if they can look that up for me really quick. But I think their defense still ranks at
they're halfway. They're a decent defense. My fear for Denver is that offense. There's no leadership.
There is none. Yeah. You could tell there's no leadership, and I feel sorry for the kid, man. I feel sorry for the kid when he played us. I mean, he just got destroyed. I'm surprised he got up the way he did. But that kid plays with desire and heart, but it's a lot of carelessness, and that's scary. You look at, what is it? They have, what's in Jude? I can't even think right now. I don't even know how many TDs he has on the year. I mean, it was 4 maybe, not even if that.
I mean, it's just rough. It's rough being a Broncos fan right now because after the whole Peyton Manning era, that's kind of been it. Like, to me, I get on the show and I do my podcast, and there's times I mention, how does John Elway still have a general manager job? How? Like, you failed to recapture that glory, and all you had to do was replace one position, and you are that position. You are one of the best to ever do it, and you're telling me you can't spot a quarterback 2 miles away?
Right.
Like, to me, that's ridiculous. I feel for Bronco fans, but I gotta go Bills.
Yeah, and I agree. I probably I know a lot of Bronco fans and watch a lot of Bronco ball living in Colorado, but that team has always been pretty solid. And I don't know. There's some speculation. I have some hearsay, but I don't think Elway's going to be hanging out too much longer.
I don't know why he's hanging out right now.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. He's had some good things, and he's made some good. I think he did really good in free agency, obviously. I think, but the very best thing he did was Manning, and I mean, Vaughn was a good pickup, but I don't see anything that he's done since then. Since that team was a contender and won that Super Bowl since, they've had some good seasons, but I don't know.
There's nothing for me.
At this point, the Bills are on a pass. The
Yeah.
Bills are on a mission, and there's nothing going to stop them right now. I'm not sure who their last 2 games are, but I don't see them stopping.
No, I don't see them stopping either. I don't see the only thing I can say about Denver is hopefully their next general manager can do it better than the last. So we'll leave it at that for that one. Next up, we got the 4-9 Panthers going up against the 10-3 Packers. So there's no debate. The Packers are 13-2 at home since 2019.
There was one pick I wanted to talk about a specific. I think I have put it.
I am going to go with the Packers. They're at home. They're going to go 14-2 since 2019. Look, McCaffrey's not playing. I don't know the health of Teddy Bridgewater. The receiving core is getting hit with COVID left and right. There's nothing. There's nothing for me to believe that Carolina's going to go into Green Bay and try to sneak out a win. I can't see it.
And you're right. That offense is on fire. It's on fire. You got Mr. MVP potentially gonna come out on that, depending how the season ends. But again, if you look at just what he does, I mean, he's good at what he does. Granted, he's comfortable in that pocket. He knows who he has. I mean, and I'm gonna say it. I think he has the best receiver right now. I think he has the best receiver in the league right now. And it's really too bad that, I always think of what Derek Carr did with him in Fresno State. Can you imagine? I was hoping, hey, it's a 2-for-1. You take one, or you take them both.
You grab one, grab the other.
I was like, you take them both, you take that. But unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. But man, to have to see what he's done, and he's not stopping. I think he just surpassed in receptions as well. He's got his 100th reception. Oh no, that was Dave. So I mean, I think right now he's just the best actor. If you look at all the receivers right now, I think Devontae's just, there's no stopping him.
That's a show we're gonna have to do later. But Devontae at number one, debatable. It's debatable. I'm not saying he's bad. He's cool. It's just number one.
Let me guess. Metcalf.
No, he's not number one.
Good, because I had a discussion about that with somebody else.
No, for me, still.
I have to change my AirPod out, so just forgive me.
No, for me, it's still D-Hop. It's still DeAndre. I like DeAndre.
Do you? Yeah.
I like DeAndre. Yeah, Devontae's top 5 for sure. Just where in that top 5, I have to really think about that.
Right.
But I think we're both in agreement here. Packers over Panthers. No debate here.
Nope.
All right.
We agree on that one.
Well, let's head to regular Sunday then. And let's start off with a rivalry that's trying to be resurgent since the 90s. We got the San Francisco 49ers going to Dallas. All right, so me growing up as a kid, that was like the game. That was like the game to watch. It's just kind of shame where they're both at right now. It's kind of like they're kind of like a shadow of what they used to be. And that's a shame, really. Look, Dallas has won 5 of the last 6, but there's nothing telling me here Dallas is going to win. I got to go with San Francisco. I hear George Kittle might make a comeback here. I know it's Nick Mullins, but I think he can handle that Dallas defense. That Dallas defense is just, it's putrid. It's really bad. Like, I get mad at my defense. I can't watch theirs. I can't even watch theirs defense. It's bad. So, yeah, I'm going to go San Francisco over Dallas.
Okay. I actually like that pick, too. What I like is that that defense, that Saleh still has that defense hot, even though, I mean, they're missing a lot, that really get, who's that famous name that we were hoping to pick up, right?
Yeah.
They're missing the big dude up front. They're missing that. And they still, they're still well put together, but that he very well makes that line. Like he's not unstoppable. But, it's been hurtful with him. Kittle had some injuries off and off the field. I know he was out with a high ankle injury last week. I don't know what his status is on this week. Mullen is good. I like him. He kind of reminds me of Carr a little bit. You could see some traits, some little bit some QB characteristics, young quarterback characteristics. Granted, he's not young. He's had enough time to catch on in the game, but watching him play, was it a primetime game they played a couple weeks? Who was it they played last week before?
I remember that myself.
It was a primetime game, and I said, let me watch this game, and I never sit through a whole NFC game. And as painful as it was.
I'm trying to remember now, but you know how these weeks we go and we just forget about it.
It probably was not Durant. I don't know who it was. But it was I said, man, this kid can throw. He can definitely throw. But again, they need some work. But again, let's look at, I heard that Saleh's going to possibly be Detroit's next coach.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going to happen about that. I don't know what it looks like. So, but again, I'm agree with you. Dallas is going through it. They're going to go through it for a while. They definitely are. They've got some rebuild to do. It's not just going to bring Dak back and then we're going to be, great again. But I think San Francisco's found an edge and remember truly who they are. They were just, at the Super Bowl last season. So I think they pulled this one off too.
Yeah, and that's if Dak comes back. But that's another conversation for another day.
I mean, it's a whole nother topic.
Yeah. So we both agree 49ers over Dallas. Sorry, my Cowboy friends on the show that watch it. Like, I have nothing but respect for you guys. It's just, it's not your year, man. It happens. It happens, man.
It happens.
So.
It happens, but I hope no Dallas fans are watching and get offended. But they've been, I got to give them credit, okay? They are taking what it is very calmly and likely. I have a lot of family that's Dallas fans, and they've been like, okay, we see what's going on. No more boys for life, all their stuff. They come to terms, and only the real fans can do that.
Yeah, and it's hard.
Pretty quiet this season, but I think they're understanding. You go through it. Hey, you go through it. But yeah, not today, not this week, guys. Sorry, I have to go with the.
So here we go. This is the one I kind of kept my eye on. So we got Seattle going to Washington. Now, believe it or not, Washington has won 7 of the last 8 against Seattle, if you want to believe that. And I keep mentioning it on my podcast, mentioning it here. I love what Washington's doing. I love the defense they're putting together. The offense is going to click eventually. Like, they're going to draft a couple more key pieces, and Washington's going to be really good. It's just, it's hard for me to go against Russell Wilson. It's just so hard. It's like, and that's why I hate to do this. I love you, Washington. I do. I love Washington, but I love Seattle this week over Washington. And this kills me, man. This kills me. I love Seattle over this.
It's funny that you mentioned that because that was probably one of the toughest games that I had to decide to. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of credit to Alex Smith, but there's no way that, Russ Wilson has been taken out of the spotlight. He doesn't like that.
Yeah.
Okay, but we don't have to forget who he plays for, and that guy's locked in. He's a lifer. I understand. I think earlier this season they put him, hey, you're going to be the guy. I think they
he's
added on. Yeah,
he ain't going anywhere. He's not going to go anywhere. No way.
So I like it. And then, goodness, the only thing that worries me about Seattle is that pocket. I don't really know what Washington's defense looks like.
It looks amazing.
I got to, yeah.
It looks
I got
amazing.
to watch them a little bit. The reason why, and I don't know if this person will catch it, but I know a football team fan that, I got to give him credit, man. Season in and season out, he's with his boys. But, you got Russ Wilson throwing to somebody that's nearly reaching their 1,200. I believe he's already, if not, 1,200 yards on the season. He's got 10 TDs. Mm-hmm. Hey, dude, just get open. I'm going to toss it to you.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think Washington has the matchup for
They don't, but what's going to be important is a lot of people are forgetting the fact, like, yeah, Russell Wilson has Lockett. He's got Disley, and then obviously he has that monster or wide receiver, DK Metcalf. Right. The only thing where I can see Washington pulling the upset, that front four for Washington, they're kind of and remember, the NFL is a copycat league. Mm-hmm. Washington is trying to do what San Francisco did, use their first round picks on defensive linemen, and they're doing it. I think 4 of the last 5 have been D linemen from Chase Young from last year. Payne, Montez, all these guys are coming in, and it's proving that it's working. Now, obviously, it has to work because you got Ron Rivera, Jack Del Rio working together. So it's going to work.
Which I like.
It's a scary.
I like a lot.
It's unfair that the NFL allowed that to happen. Like, you ever seen matchups in the NFL and you're just like, how did the NFL allow this? That's one of those times where it's like, how did the NFL allow Jack Del Rio and Ron Rivera to work together? Like, that's too unfair because that's two good minds on the defensive side working together. So there's going to be no mishaps. If they give up a touchdown, it's because the other team really earned that touchdown. Other than that, I love Washington. I'm going to love them next year, but for this week, I got to go with Seattle. I got to go with Seattle.
And you do drive those good points about them. They're going to get better. They are going to get better. They've been out. I mean, I think not Alex Smith has come in and turned around completely and does some great things, but he definitely puts a veteran, like a Phil confidence on the team for that young squad to look up to. I know even though he plays on the offensive side, but this is something I talk about in Carr. I know Carr does the ramp. And I get beat up in the group all the time. Oh, how do you know camera's not on him all the time? I says, because every time the camera's on Derek Carr, he's sitting on the bench by himself. And we have that, Alex Smith, I've seen him talk to those guys. You give him, hey, this and that. Carr, we have to have a Carr conversation because there's a whole, just how he, and I said it and people misunderstood me in the group.
There's a whole enigma.
Not a sideline dude. He's not a sideline dude.
There's a whole enigma with that man, with one Mr. Carr. That's a whole enigma with that man. From Fresno to when he got to the NFL, it's been a whole mystery. But yeah, that's another conversation for another time. So here we go.
Yeah, we need like 2 hours for that.
Here we go. A division matchup in the NFC North. We got the Chicago Bears going up against the Minnesota Vikings. So Minnesota, they started 1-5, and they looked like they were dead in the water. Now they won 5 of the last 7. Look, Chicago, I get it. You want to try to be cute. You want to be fancy. I get it. Mm-hmm. It's just, I think right now, Minnesota has a little bit edge offensively than the Bears defense, I would say. I think, because we know what the Bears offense is if they can't run the ball, they certainly cannot throw. Like, that's the problem with Chicago. They have to have a strong run game to have a chance to win. If that run game doesn't get going hot, then it's just going to be a long day for Chicago. And the thing with Minnesota, they can beat you in so many ways. They want to run Dalvin Cook, fine. They want to run Adam Thielen out the post, fine. Justin Jefferson is doing amazing things as a rookie. They got him in the slot, outside, whatever it is. So all I'm saying to me is I got Minnesota over Chicago in this one. I don't think Chicago has enough to hang with Minnesota this week. So I'm going to go with the Vikings here.
Okay. I do. That's good. So I'll let you know. So you do have a valid point in Minnesota. I mean, I think they've always played some decent ball. I've always, and like, I always have one or two of their players, whether it's defense or like their tight end, Rudolph, like that's going to be like on my fantasy team. Why? Because I have a confidence in that team. They've always played at a really decent, solid level. My only thing is, if you look at top receivers, Cousins has more INTs than his receivers have touchdowns.
Yeah.
Okay. They have a solid, decent run game. But again, and I'm not going to bring up the name, the Chicago front, you got to get past that wall first. Okay. You got to get past that wall. These teams face each other, their vision, they're good. But I just see them smashing again. Now these last few weeks are going to be of who's going to make a statement. So I'm going to take Chicago this week on that game.
Oh, man. Here we go. Chicago, huh? Okay. I mean, I don't trust Mitchell Trubisky. I do not trust that offense. That offense is just so bad. It's so boring. It's like if David Montgomery gets going, they have a shot. If David Montgomery doesn't get going, it looks so bad. I
don't anticipate a high-scoring game. I think the defense are going to make some big plays, and I think 12 of those Chicago points that are going to be scored to a win of 16-13, Chicago is going to be defensive. That's just what I see.
I kind of see it the opposite. I do see low scoring, but I kind of see it as a 20-17 type of feel. I think Minnesota Minnesota kind of sneaks in a couple touchdowns, whether it's a long pass or a short goal line toss to Dalvin. But it's going to be one of those, field position type of games for me. And I think Minnesota is going to get the better field position at this point. So, all right. So there's that one. Here we go. So everybody's deeming them as America's team, the new America's team for 20 years, the New England Patriots going up against the Miami Dolphins. So here's a little thing about New England with Bill Belichick in general.
Let's hear it.
rookie quarterbacks are 7-21 when they play Bill Belichick.
Mm-hmm.
I understand it's not been a fun year for New England fans. I know they've only been watching football about like 5 years ago, and I know this is on new territory for them. Okay, but
I need to put that in a little meme right there. That was a good one. Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
But I know it's not been good for them. I know for New England, it's just not been a good year. However, I am never going to count out Bill Belichick. I think New England gets the upset here. I'm going to go with the Patriots over the Dolphins. I can't go against history. Bill Belichick knows what to do against rookie quarterbacks. Like, he just knows what to do. So I'm going to go with history here. I'm going to go New England over Miami here.
I agree. I don't really. I mean, to me, I'm favorable, and people question, as a Raider fan, why am I a Bill Belichick fan? Why was I a TB12 fan? No, I was a fan of really good football. Put all that other stuff aside, okay? If we really want, I mean, they were doing something that nobody had done before, and yeah, they paid for it. But I've always just like, as a football fan, like, gosh. And then Josh McDaniels was on top of, like, it's like, how do you guys continue to do this? You continue to be great. Take out those couple of things and issues. I was just talking to somebody about earlier too. It was like, a lot of that happens over the league. It's undisguised. Tom Brady had his 4-6 games out, whatever they gave him, and came back and won a Super Bowl. Okay, he can do it. It's not Tom Brady though. It's Bill Belichick. Okay, that's Bill Belichick coaching, because we're going to come up to the Tampa Bay pick, and I'll pick on Tom Brady then. But I really do. It doesn't matter who he's facing. He has a way to make things happen. So therefore, I'm also going to take New England in that upset as well.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. I like where Miami's going. And I mentioned this when I was doing my YouTube videos last year. The players in Miami were buying. See, the thing is, when people see bad teams, they go straight to the record. They don't really look at, the players, the body language. When you look at the Jets, they quit. They have quit on Adam Gase. Like, there's no denying it.
Oh, yeah.
But when you looked at Miami last year, it was a new head coach in Brian Flores. But the body language I got from Miami was, I know we're not winning, but I believe in him, and they trust in the system. When you have the faith and the players in you, you can't lose. And it's showing this year. It is showing this year that the players of Miami believe in Brian Flores. The coaching staff believe in Brian Flores. The top dudes believe in Brian Flores. And I honestly am happy Miami finally has a decent coach. They have a good coach in Brian Flores. Now, it's going to be scary that the Raiders play him next week. I'm not looking forward to that.
Like, wait a minute.
But I have to give props to Brian Flores. He changed that system, because before that, it was that Yahoo, Adam Gase again, and that Joe Philbin train that just brought the whole culture of Miami just down. Brian Flores came in and said, look, I know I'm a nobody. I've just been a long-time defensive coordinator, linebackers coach. But believe in me, we're going to win, and we're going to turn this around. And sure enough, the results are in the pudding. They're winning. They're competing for a wild spot. They're wild card spot.
Yeah.
I believe these players in Miami believe in Brian Flores, and to take a chance on Tua and to bench Ryan Fitzpatrick halfway through the year when you were up ahead and you're still winning. To me, that says it all. They're buying into the system. Miami's for real. Miami's back, and they are for real. But
they are, and
in this case, I'm going to have to still take New England, because Bill Belichick is just there. Until proven otherwise, I am never going to bet against Bill Belichick. That's my problem.
Yeah, and it's hard for me. I have a cousin that just is a huge Miami fan, and it's nonstop. He gives me crap about the Raiders, even when we don't lose, when we don't even play them. But Miami is very well on a path, but takes a lot. I mean, you have to have a trust. And again, I'm going to keep beating a dead horse. But look at with JDR.
Yeah.
He got a lot of respect. The coaching core respected him. The players respected and were very comfortable. They loved playing they played hard for him. They trusted him. He guided them, and that was just like a wonderful season. I know it takes systems, but you also have to have those relationships with your players. You have to establish personal relationships with your players. You have to know what's going on. And I think that's where we fall right now a lot.
Because, a lot of people think, fans is just a bunch of X's and O's and go do your job. It's more than that. It's more than that. Like, look, you have to be with these guys for about 18 weeks. And that's just the season. Yeah. We're not talking about training camp. We're not talking about OTAs. We're not talking about mini camps. This is just the regular season. You have to be able to at least respect and trust them. I'm not saying you have to like them, because you don't have to like them. You just have to respect them and trust them enough that you're going to be there. You're going to do your job. He's going to do his. And it's going to take both of them to just, work together. It's going to have to work out, because it's more than just X's and O's. It's more than that.
Right.
And,
it is.
And that's where a lot of people fail to realize. It's like, this team has all the talent in the world, but why is it not working out? It's trust. Like Cleveland last year. Trust me, when you have a Baker Mayfield, a Jarvis Landry, a David Njoku, Odell Beckham Jr., Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, you got a solid defense.
That's a team.
And it's like, and you're like, why did they fall flat? Well, I'll tell you why. There was no trust. There's no trust in the last coach. Now, they have a lot of trust in this new guy, Kevin Stefanski. There was a lot of trust when, he became the interim head coach. So I'm glad he got the job. I'm glad the players are responding now. And that's the thing. It's trust. It's not just X's and O's. And I think that's where a lot of people fail to realize in some cases.
Oh, yeah, definitely what it is. But, props out to Miami. They're don't forget those faces. Don't forget that team. They're going to be back. They're going to be back in there for the next couple seasons.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're very well on their way. It's good to see them back. They haven't been for a little bit, but
it's going to be challenging to challenge Buffalo this year, because Buffalo's just on a roll. But I expect next year that Miami and Buffalo, they will compete for they will try to compete for that division. I think so. I think it's going to be a way tighter race next year for the AFC East division. So, well, here we go.
Yeah, it looks like really quick. Jonathan, yeah, you're right. Exactly. He said they're missing big trust. So that's exactly what it was.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm glad everybody in the league, any football fan could see that and understand that. So they'll be there, guys. Watch out for that Miami team.
Oh, here we go. Here's a game where I'm sure a lot of people are going to rush to the TVs right here.
Not ours. No.
So we got the Jacksonville Jaguars at 1-12. They're going to go up against the Baltimore Ravens. Now, a couple of weeks ago, you mentioned it. Like, you actually made a snarky comment when I talked about Dallas versus Baltimore a couple of weeks ago. And I said it was the team that can't stop anybody versus the offense. The coordinator couldn't start a car with the keys in the ignition. Well, I don't know if you snitched me out, but they heard me. These last couple games for the Ravens, they have scored 34-plus points in the last two games. So I think they heard me. I think they might have heard me kind of.
Somebody heard you.
So I don't know who heard me. Don't come after me. It's just what I saw on film. I'm just looking at what I'm seeing in tape. Nothing personal, guys. But, yeah, what's there to say? It's Baltimore. They're trying to get back into the playoffs. Jacksonville's, they have an identity crisis. Who's their quarterback? What kind of team are they? They just have a huge identity crisis, and I don't know if Doug Marrone is the right man for this job at this time. So I'm going to go Baltimore. I think they're at home, so I'm going to go Baltimore over Jacksonville. I don't think this is even going to be any close, but who knows? It's the NFL, so who knows?
Well, and you talk about, again, with that quarterback, who is it? Who's going to be this week? Who is that? And again, there's that trust again. There's no leadership on that field. There's nobody. They look lost. I've watched a couple of their highlights and previews. It's just really too bad, because I think Jacksonville has always been to have a very respectable team. I mean, look at just 2 seasons ago, their defense was like, wow, and then all of a sudden, boom, with some losses and coaching. I mean, there was a lot of playing factor, but really hope that team makes it back and really gets it together, because it's a good group. I mean, they did have, they had some growing pains, but they just watching them, it's a real shame. I mean, for me, it's like, oh, I wish bad on this team. But when you see them like that and just getting destroyed week after week, and you hear just the bads about them. But yeah, there's no way. Baltimore, let's talk on the other hand. What a game, though. Let's clap that up, man. What a game they played against Cleveland. That had to be the game of the week and probably one of the top games of the season.
Oh
that just was unbelievable.
Yeah, me and my lady, we were on the couch eating dinner, watching that game, and we're like, "Did they just score? They scored again! Oh my God, what's going on?" Yeah. It was one of those games where it's like you had to see it to really believe, like, holy crap! And yeah, Carla, yeah, that was a great game. Baltimore,
yeah, it was a great game.
Yeah, there should be no shame for Cleveland fans out there. It's like, look, man, this just is how it goes sometimes. Sometimes, and I mentioned it on the podcast, the kicker missing those points, that was the crucial point. And I don't like to pinpoint one thing, but it's like, it's so obvious. You miss the field goal and then you miss a couple extra points. That's going to hurt. That hurt them. But overall, for Cleveland, there should be no shame. But Baltimore, let's go to them. So for whatever reason, now they want to play offensive football. Now they want to score. Now they want to run up the board. Lamar Jackson looks like he wants to go back to his MVP self again.
Out of nowhere.
It just straight up, that rookie J.K. Dobbins looks amazing. It's scary to think that Baltimore can sneak into the playoffs. And the one thing that I'm always afraid of, the teams that are in the, that win the division, that kind of get calm and know that they're already in. Do you want to be that team that plays a team that gets smoking red hot and you miss a week? No. Ask Baltimore. They were in that situation. They were 14-2. The Titans got hot, and they're thinking, we got them. We got them. They blew the Patriots, but we got them. And then the Titans ended up blowing up the Baltimore off the water. So that's a scary thing.
They swept all the way from the wild card all the way to the championship game. I was like, wow, what in the heck just happened here? So
and that's the scary thing. Valid point. That's the scary thing about Baltimore. If they keep this up and that defense keeps playing to their potential, do you really want to be that team that plays Baltimore in the playoffs when they're smoking red hot? I wouldn't. Heck no, I wouldn't. Yeah. It's just, I don't want to flirt with that. And that's the thing with Baltimore. But in this case, Baltimore over Jacksonville, they moved to 9-5, one step closer to a wild card spot. So I don't.
So you didn't take Baltimore, obviously. What I like about Baltimore, I have to go back and look how they are, where they're at right now, because they did have those first few weeks. I was like, oh yeah, Baltimore, they've got some stuff. But again, let's look at Mr. I can't even think of his head coach.
Harbaugh.
His name right now.
Mr. Harbaugh.
Yes, Harbaugh. My goodness, I don't know how I went, but he's one of my favorite coaches. I couldn't remember his name. He's been there. He knows. He's preparing. He knows what he has to do. And he's experienced. He's relaxed. He's not one of these new coaches. And I'm just gonna say it. The Rams coach, when he got, they went to Super Bowl, and it was a first-time experience for him. It's like, okay, how do you win these games? How do you win these big games? And how do you play these teams that are contenders? If they keep going the route, I believe, I knew who was on their schedule remaining, but if they can pull that off, they should have, they got Pittsburgh. I wouldn't want to face them. That's just basically what it comes down to.
Yeah, I wouldn't want, and
especially a team that's found their confidence. They've got Jackson into his feet. Did you see him just run up and make that cut? I says, man, he's going to exhaust any defense that he faces. And you look at those defense that are up in the playoff contenders.
It's going to be hard.
Whoever faces them, yeah. I wouldn't. For me as a coach, that wouldn't want to be. That wouldn't want to be the first team that I'd have to play.
I would rather if they do get that 7th seed, and that's what I'm looking at. And that 2nd seed is either the Steelers or the Chiefs. I rather play the Colts. I rather play the Raiders. I rather play the Broncos. Anybody but Baltimore. I rather play the Browns again and take my chances there. I do not want to go up against a Baltimore team that has experience on the veteran side, on both sides of the ball, and is red smoking hot in January. No way. I would not want to do that. So yeah,
not in January, not at all.
Yeah, no way.
But Baltimore definitely should grab and go with that. Statement's going to be made. They are going to be in that spotlight again. And people are gonna have to pay attention to them from here on.
Oh,
I know I would as a coach. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens here. So next up, we got the 8-5 Buccaneers going up against the 4-9 Falcons. The battle of the Super Bowl 51 quarterbacks. I'm sure we all remember what happened there. Atlanta was up 28-3. And if you went into a coma and you woke up 2 days later, how was the Atlanta parade? Didn't happen, my man. Did not happen.
Right.
So
exactly.
So here we go.
Exactly.
Your favorite guy, Tom Brady, off a bye week.
Don't say that out. Don't say that live because my Raider fans are gonna chew me up.
Don't worry. I'll take the hits.
TB12's my boy.
I'll take the hits. Don't worry. I'll take the hits for you. Don't worry about it. Right. But look, they're off a bye. You know how earlier we were talking about trust in the players? I don't know why I kind of get this feeling of turmoil within the organization. Look, it's cool what Tampa Bay's trying to do. I get it. Tampa Bay hasn't really done anything in quite a while. I get all that.
My baby missed me. Sorry. So forgive him.
Oh, there's the star of the show right there. The star of the show right there.
I haven't spent time with him since I've been home, so he's a little mad about that.
Look, for me, it's like you want to try to be cool. You want to try to be cute. You got Ronald Jones. You got Leonard Fournette. That's a great running backfield. You got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and now you add Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski. That's fine and dandy. The offensive line is better than last year, and your defense has been top 5 now for a couple seasons. It's just why every time I look at a Buccaneers game, win or lose, they look like they're so mad that they had to play a game. And it's kind of like, dude, you guys just won. And it's like, what do we care? Like, we're here because
we're out here again. We had to get up out of bed and come do this. It's basically the look.
That's kind of like the feeling I get whenever I see a Buccaneers game. And it's kind of like, I mean, aren't you happy? You're 8-5. You're this close to a wild card spot. You haven't been to the playoffs in about like 8 years. Is something up? Is there something we don't know about? Is there and that's the feeling I get. Like, I got a feeling that nobody just, if they win, cool. And if they lose, that's even worse. There's no urgency for me. It's just, okay, we have to be here because we are obligated to be here. Because if it was in their contracts, you don't have to play. I'm pretty sure at least 50% of the starting lineup would be like, all right, well, screw this. I'm done with this year. They're just over it. If the attitude for me is I'm over this season, and we're only 3 games away for the regular season to end. That's the feeling I get. I don't know if you got that same feeling. I don't know.
I do, and I know that, there's a hot topic. I think there was a video earlier that I watched with that relationship on the sideline with Tom Brady. Again, we talked about him a couple weeks ago on the live, and we talked about him having that relationship with Comfort again, that we talked about spending time with these guys. I don't know if it just shadows over Tom Brady of what, hey, he has high expectations. He has high expectations. When I know he's used to having it his way. Look at what he's done. Look what he's achieved. Exactly. If you're going to bring in somebody like that, yeah, okay, we're going to follow. You tell us what we need to do to be at that level. You're the one who's been and done it before. But I think Tom Brady has a hard time of being told what to do, especially, and he's very argumentable when it comes to something that he doesn't like or read. But it's like taking, I hate to put it this way, but you've had a pet for 12 years in your home, and you have to put it into a new house, and it's a whole change, There's I think he's missing that a lot. Rob Gronkowski, I expected more. I was really excited for that team when he was going to come out and play. Look at last week, he had 2 yards. But guess what? 2 yards was a touchdown. That's all he produced. The whole game was the 2 yards for a touchdown. That's a little disappointing as much as they've connected. So, again, a lot has to be where you can see the frustration with Tom Brady, where he's not calling the plays. He's not calling it. He gets frustrated. He's been really tempered, just off the wall mad lately. But, again, there's something. I mean, Mike Evans really was very solid. I mean, at the beginning of the year, he was putting up the points. I know somebody who had him on fantasy. I was like, wow, but they still don't look happy where they sit. They have to be happy. They said, look at the rest of that league. Look at the rest of that conference. Like, it's like, wow, why aren't you? What's wrong? What's going to ruin that team is whatever's happening on that sideline and in the locker room.
And that's the thing. As fans, we don't know what's happening behind the doors. We don't know what's happening at practice. I mean, yeah, you got beat reporters, and I'm sure they're tired of asking the same questions. I get all that. It's just, for me, even when they played them in Vegas, when Tampa Bay came to Vegas and they won, it was like Tom Brady had the attitude like, oh, I have to shake these guys' hands. I just want to get on a plane and go home. Like, oh, I have to go out there for the final drive, even though we're up by like 13, like with a minute left. Like, I have to, like, it's weird. To me, it's just, on paper, Tampa Bay looks like they should be winning Super Bowls for years to come. But it just feels like they kind of don't want to. Like, they know. And I don't know if it's because
why bring in somebody like Tom Brady for 2 years? Just 2 years. I mean, I don't even know who's their backup that, okay, you bring in a veteran like that, especially of all people, Tom Brady, for 2 years. You bring him in for 2 years for what? For a Super Bowl? That wasn't going to happen. I don't know where that came from. I don't know whose idea that was, unless they had like an understudy of a quarterback that could learn and grow off of him. Tempo, just like we did with the, Witten and Raiders. Hey, he's there just to guide. He's going to give that veteran guidance.
Perfect comment right there. Perfect comment right there. My friend Eric, he is a huge Eagles fan, and he says dream team because he knows what that's like. He remembers the free agency where they said, man, look at all this free agency we got. We got Nnamdi off the Raiders. We got Vince Young as our quarterback now. We got wide receivers up the wazoo. We're going to the Super Bowl. Didn't happen. And I'm sure he has that same feeling like I do. It's like, yeah, you guys are a good team. It's just, I wouldn't bet against you. I wouldn't bet for you to go to the Super Bowl. Like,
it's questionable. I mean, I don't think that Tampa Bay team was bad, but I don't think it's built. I just don't think it's just a Tom Brady. I don't think it's for him.
I don't think so either. Like, the Buccaneers are going to look good. They're going to look good. It's just not for them. And for the Falcons, look, I love that Raheem Morris. And if you saw, and I know you saw my show yesterday, I'm banging the table. That should be our next defensive coordinator. Please do this for me. Do this one time. Do this for me. But
please, come on. I don't want nothing for Christmas but that.
Just give me that. But please, and I got a lot of heat for that on the group because I kind of said, I didn't mean it as a bad way. I just kind of said it. Look, the reason Rex Ryan and Wade Phillips are kind of just sitting on the couch and doing their thing is because I have a feeling that the game kind of passed them by, and we need some new young blood. And I got killed for it, murdered.
That group was just off the hook today. Everybody's mad about everything.
Yeah, there's no Merry Christmas.
After the picks, I do want to mention, and hopefully if the groups watching in any of them, but I do have something to say on that. But again, with the Bucs, the only thing is you have he's out. I believe the running back is out for this week.
I think so too. Well, they're down 2. I know.
This week he's actually on my fantasy team. I haven't looked at my fantasy, which I need to, because I got to make sure Third and Husband is on there for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I'm going to start Third and Husband tomorrow.
Okay.
So going to start him tomorrow. Going to take a look at what that looks like. But then I also have I have Mr. Williams too. So I'm like, okay, Renfro or Williams? What's it going to be?
It's hard.
Okay?
That's a hard one.
My heart or points? But so it's but yeah, I believe the running back is out.
I know Leonard Fournette might be down, and I know that Ronald Jones, I think, just got put on the COVID list. So I know he's out. So those 2 running backs are out. So now it's kind of like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
And the other thing I like about this game, it's in the Dome, if I'm not mistaken.
It is in the Dome.
Mm-hmm. Tom Brady could play both. I've always been, and I need to give credit where credit is due. I've always been a Matty Ice fan. I love Matty Ice. I think he's a good quarterback. He can be great. He could have been great. I just think very good quarterback. I just like him overall as a player. I believe he has Ridley back this week. It's just too bad we haven't seen that as much as we'd like to have seen this.
Yeah, injuries suck. Like, that's it.
I really like to see that. But with that being said, I'll go ahead and roll out my pick on this one. I am going to take Atlanta.
Yikes. I don't care who the running back for Tampa Bay is. I'm never going to bet against Tom Brady and that Tampa Bay defense. Give me the Buccaneers on this one. I love it. Atlanta's cool.
Just move that out really quick. I'm just going to go with.
You're gonna go with Atlanta, okay? I mean, I got the Buccaneers.
I like their defense, and Tom Brady's been. I haven't seen Tom Brady. Excuse my language, but I haven't seen him on his ass so much that I have this season.
Yeah, it's pretty rough, but I'm still gonna go Tampa Bay. I think they need. They're that team that knows they need to win to keep the critics out. They're that team. So.
Everybody wrong. We've all seen that. Everybody, and I don't know it. I was so amazed like how many teams Belichick has faced. I think he faced almost every team in the league already. He likes to shut his critics down. He likes to prove people wrong. He does not. Yeah, he will shut people up. So it was an iffy pick for me. I just like Atlanta in the Dome. I just think the run game's going to hurt for Tampa Bay a little bit without having that strong back. It's just worrying me, the Gronk and Brady connection, but Mike Evans is who he is. But I think Atlanta would like to see Tom Brady again.
I think so.
Would like to see him again. So I'm going to go ahead and take it.
We'll see what happens there.
Okay.
So we got the next one here. We got a team in Detroit. Same thing. Identity crisis. They don't know who they are. They don't know what kind of team they want to be.
I don't know what's going on with that team. I don't know.
And unfortunately, they're not going to figure out this week because they got to play the Titans with Mr. King Henry back there and a Titans offense that have scored 35 points per game since week 11, which is the most in the NFL. I don't see anything happening. I got the Titans over Detroit. It's not even funny. I don't even know what to say about Detroit. It's just I hope they get it right.
I don't know. I mean, Matt Stafford's been one of my favorite dudes too. I still take him every season for fantasy because he puts up the numbers. But that has nothing to do with what this team has just had its chances of being capable and just haven't lately. But I'm going to go with Tennessee because there's only one person that's going to beat Detroit, and that's Henry.
Yeah, it's not even funny.
Which I'd like to say, and I'm sure you know as well, this is the first time in a little while since a running back has been in the talk of MVP.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the MVP award, it's a joke. To me, and I mention it every year, it's a joke. It should just be MVP quarterback and then just a regular MVP for around the league.
And to be fair, it is. I think it should be. I think you have your quarterback MVP of the year and then your player, because it's just not fair. I mean, as long as you have Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and Russell in that equation, it's going to go to one of them each time until these young quarterbacks start producing and getting better. So,
and that's the thing. It's even last year for Offensive Rookie of the Year. I mean, you're going to sit here and tell me that Kyler Murray was better than Josh Jacobs for Offensive Rookie of the Year? Yeah, no, sorry. I can't.
And I think the NFL needs to look at that a little bit more too, because the style of playing is completely different now in this age. It's not more it's just different in general. And I think that's one thing I do like about the league, not to get too much off, but I really love the style of playing that these rookies are bringing. Look at the players that are potentially coming up in the draft that are coming up. I don't watch a lot of college ball, but I start paying attention to the potential, like who the drafts, who to keep an eye on, obviously for purposes of our team. But I really like what they're bringing. They're bringing excitement. They're bringing energy. They are, and it's changing the game a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Not what I'm used to, but hey, if I can get on board with this going to Vegas, I can get on board with whatever how the game's changed, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's just for Detroit. I hope they get it right. General manager, head coach, they got to get it right.
They got to get it together. There's no reason why that team can't. So we'll see again if Saleh does go ahead and take that job over there. I'm really excited. I'm hoping, I know it's a long shot. He does deserve a head coaching job, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean,
out of nowhere, he wants to come and talk with Mr. Mike Mayock.
I think one name that did get mentioned.
Wishful thinking.
The one name I did hear mentioned for Detroit for general manager and head coach, Louis Riddick for the general manager side, and I think that would be cool. And then for the head coaching, I heard Eric Bellamy from Kansas City. So, I mean, you put him and Matthew Stafford together. Hey, what's the worst that can happen now? I mean,
and truly, for the sake of that division, they have to wake up. I mean, they're that division all around. Like something's got to happen. You have, I mean, I think that division has been the Chicago's been it for a little bit.
It's been Green Bay show.
Yeah. That's it. That's all they really have. And, I'm trying to think. I know there's a division out there where obviously we know Dallas,
Philadelphia,
Washington, Philly. Yeah. It's like, wow, you remember before Seattle moved over to the NFC and they took the division like with the below 500.
Yeah.
Because they were in when they were with, our division years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad that changed because imagine them in our division now.
Yeah, no, I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed.
No, thank you.
I mean, I'm already pissed at Patrick Mahomes.
You guys did something right. Thank
you, So I think
expansion teams. We got to thank those expansion teams. That's for sure.
Thank you, Carolina and Houston. Woo!
All that.
So no debate here. Titans over Detroit.
What's that?
Titans over Detroit. No debate.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's another one. Texans, Colts. The Colts look good. They showed it against the Raiders, but they've been showing it this whole year that they're a good team. The Texans, they need help everywhere. It's the Colts. I got the Colts here. They're trying to prove a point. They're trying to prove a point that they are a sleeper Super Bowl team. I think they can do it. They're going to need some help, but I think the Colts are a sleeper. And that's why I'm going to take them over Houston this week.
Well, for me, watching that game last week, the Colts show that they're there. They're definitely telling people, hey, we're for real and we're coming. And I don't know if you noticed, but where the heck did T.Y. Hilton get all that attitude from all of a sudden? He's always been a reserved player. Oh, that's why, because look who's throwing him the ball. Because if you notice, I even, and you know what? That's what I get for opening my mouth earlier this season. I go, you know what? It's about time that Rivers went to a team where you're going to act right and you're going to be a respectable player. Well, I take that back because he was yelling across the field. If anybody caught it, any of you Raider fans caught it, he was yelling over the field. He looked over at Gruden. He made sure that those guys seen him yelling and everything. And then when I seen T.Y. do what he did, I go, oh, you know why this team won? Because Phillip Rivers told them we need to go out there and beat this team. I do not like this team. This team and I have a lot of history, and I need to make a statement that I am still here, and I'm going to kick their. And sure enough, I just couldn't believe that game.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, and Rivers did it, and he did, and he had again with that horrid defense, no touches, no hurries. I wanted to see Rivers, on his ass, and we're used to playing him in our division where he's always having to fix his jersey. I think he very well walked off that field once regulation was over, untouched, and I just didn't like that.
I don't think there was an ounce of dirt or a handprint on his jersey. I think it was pretty clean.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure he could have gone to the Pawn Star shop and try to sell that jersey right there because it was still so clean.
Did you play?
Yeah, of course I played.
Hey, I play sports. If I came home with a clean uniform, oh, forget it. So you didn't play? So you didn't have a good play? You didn't have to slide? So yeah, I know about that.
Oh yeah, it's rough.
Okay, what the heck? The only thing, of course, with this one, Houston, they've got, Deshaun is who he is. He puts up good numbers. He's got it. Again, there's been some issues with losing, I don't know what Bill O'Brien was doing over there. I don't know what the future holds for them. It's like, man, what you just turn this team upside down. I don't know what happened. They were very well in their season, 2 seasons now before this one. That Houston's coming back, and I that wasn't a team I wouldn't want to play. I wouldn't want to play that team either.
No.
Coming off, they were very well there, and Deshaun was what MVP talked to just last year or so, and now it's like, okay, what's going on? I feel for him. I think he's a great quarterback, a good quarterback. Again, it's just talking about what I don't know what a lot of these franchises are doing though. I really don't know.
Bill O'Brien should never be allowed to touch an NFL team ever again. There's no way. When you trade 2 first-rounders for a left tackle, and you trade arguably the best wide receiver for a 4th-rounder and a broken running back, I try to do that in Madden, and they laugh at me. So how this trade happened in real life, I don't know. All I know is Bill O'Brien should never be allowed to touch an NFL team. As a matter of fact, he should never be able to touch a college team ever again. Stick to high school, guys. Just go back to high school.
I really hope in every GM's office across the league that they have his picture in a frame to remind them to never even have communication with this man. I just truly can't believe what he. And I hate to be that person and say that, but what in the heck were you like? Yeah, I still think about it. I'm like, man, did we not do something right? Or no, yeah, that was horrible.
Yeah, no.
If you think us letting a 52 go, that was
rough.
Thank you, because you took that spotlight off of what
of what we did. I mean, people for the longest time were like, "How stupid are you to trade Mac?" When that DeAndre trade happened, I'm like, "Oh, we're off the pedestal now. Let's go. Let's get out."
Right. Yeah.
Like we gotta go. But yeah,
they've got some things hopefully. So hopefully, a lot of these teams don't take, and I like for us, we don't take advantage of free agency. We don't really look into, and we didn't do that this past season. So I'm like, okay, what are we doing? What we're doing? Deadline. Okay, we did absolutely nothing. Like, okay, we picked up a couple, Nick and some trades, and I'm like, okay, there were some good names on the table too. So if Houston could take advantage of that, really, take a look. It's unfortunately had one of the best up front, and he just needs some help. He just needed some help. So hopefully they can rebuild. I like Houston. There's no reason for me ever not to like that team. They've just done great, but I just can't believe that, and they're still hurting from that. They're questioning.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really hard again. The trust again, you're trying to, okay, what are we doing now? Okay, so what's our next move? What are we playing for? But yeah.
And the worst part is they can win or they can lose. Miami's still going to make their pick for them. And that's the thing where I'm trying to understand. It's like, why? Why would you do that?
I'm like, I want to hide for him.
Yeah, it's rough. So yeah, I'm gonna take Indy over Houston.
What the heck? Like of all things.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go Indy over Houston on this one. So here we go.
All right.
This is the one where I want to give you props for taking the Eagles last week. You and Pablo Reyes. I did not see that happening. I laughed in my break room, thinking, "What are these guys doing?"
That was a fun conversation, by the way. That was a fun conversation.
And I literally thought to myself, if 2020 must be hard, I want to have what they're having because they sound so calm about this. So I applaud you for taking the Eagles last week.
I need a clap. Show me a clap. Me and Pablo need a clap. Oh, you're doing that. Okay. That's 3 times. That's good.
So here we go.
Because he even went back, or you did, had to go back and say, hey, to both of you.
Yeah.
Again, I talked about what my upset was going to be. So there's no way with Steelers losing. No way was Casey going to let that happen. So I looked and I go, oh.
I can own up to my mistakes. I can do that. I can do that. So we got the Eagles going up against the Cardinals. Jalen Hurts is going to get the start again. He's going up against Kyler Murray, and it's the battle of Oklahoma quarterbacks. Okay, I mentioned this last week. If Philadelphia fans do not get too excited, Hurts is going to auditioning. He doesn't have to win. He just has to look good for an NFL team. Teams are going to line up, and then you'll get your picks back. And then you can start building your team. Because, as I mentioned to Pablo, That contract for Wentz is immovable. No one's going to touch that. No one wants to even think about that. And even if a trade were to go down, Wentz is not going to come down from that number. So this is more of an auditioning part for me. If Hurts looks good, teams are going to line up for him, and I do think he will get traded. And it's happened before. So
You've seen it. We've seen it.
I mean, I've seen it with Brett Favre in Atlanta. He was there 1 year. He had a couple good games. Green Bay looked at him and said, "Hey." Green Bay said, "Hey, Atlanta, we'll give you a first rounder, and you give us that quarterback that you don't want. Okay, here, have him." And then he went on to have one of the greatest careers a quarterback could ever go. So I don't see why this situation would be any different. If Hurts looks good these last 3 games, I don't see why teams should not call him, especially on a rookie contract. So, but in this case, I'm still going to take Arizona. I love D-Hop. I love Kyler Murray. I love what they're doing over there. And yeah.
I was wondering what was going to come after and why. But yeah, I mean, let's talk about Jalen. He put on a showcase clinic. He definitely showed everybody, hey, I can ball. It is really concerning. I don't know what direction that team is going to be headed or what they're looking at. For some reason, they have a bromance with Wentz. Like, I don't know what it is. I can't figure it out. I don't focus too much, again, any out of conference, but, you know, it's been in the spotlight wondering, and it's been talking about, okay, what's so great about him? What is it? Somebody sees something they like about him, and I'm not the one writing the check. I'm not the one making those decisions for that franchise. Eric Soto, that's my quarterback.
See you. Just my quarterback. That's your quarterback for the next 3 weeks. Don't get too excited.
You know what? I respect everybody who defends their quarterback. Trust me, I've been there. I know what that's about. That's my quarterback. I don't care. I'll be mad at him 1 week, and the next week I'm like, that's my quarterback. Be mad as heck at him. We know that.
But you gotta have the dry tears. You know, that's the quarterback.
The way Terrell Owens, that's my quarterback. So where next time, watch. Depending what happens Thursday next week, I'll have my sunglasses on like this.
Quarterback.
That's still my quarterback.
I wish I had that soundbite. I gotta get that soundbite because oh my gosh.
Yeah, so with that game, I mean, again, I don't know what's going on, but I love Kyler. He's just, I mean, he's doing great. He's exciting to watch. He's fun. And again, you said the name Hopkins. I'm not going to go against that duo right there. I mean, that's just, they're comfortable. They have a chemistry. Whatever they're doing off the field, whatever they're doing on the field, they need to continue to do that because I like to keep, I mean, I know it's still, I mean, that's a great division they're in. You have the Rams, you have the Arizona, unfortunately San Francisco. I don't know. San Francisco wins out. Their chances of potentially like
getting in
within that division is going to be tough, you know. But I like that Arizona is really keeping. Seattle was very comfortable for a long time. They were very comfortable for a long time, and like you know, they got this 3-4 seasons ago. But look at what you have now. The Rams are still in there. But I hope for the sake of Arizona that he keeps it going. But I'm definitely going to take Arizona on that game too.
Yeah, I
don't know. Wait, hold on. Let's just hope that 49er team didn't leave any curses or anything, putting all their banners up, using their home. It was like one of those things, hey, can my friend come spend the night? And then they left like half of their stuff there.
Oh,
you know, they don't use the...
It's...
I'm sorry. And it's not... No, you know what? I'm not sorry. If any 49er fans are right, I'm related. I am the only Raider fan of my siblings are 49er fans. So I get the crap all the time.
Loyal to the Bay.
Yeah. We own the Bay. Okay. So I know because I drive out that way quite often. The Bay is still about 45, 55 minutes from your home. You're not the king. You don't own nothing. But you guys might get free passes to, Six Flags that's right next door that you share your parking lot with. Now we can talk about homes.
I mean,
now we can talk about homes.
I never understood why 49er fans want to be like act tough. It's like it's hard to act tough when you share a parking lot with Six Flags. You can't be tough with the powdered collar T-shirt, man, with the funnel cake. You can't.
Like, let's see. No, I did share it, so we'll see. My brother-in-law I have some really good friends that are 49er fans. My sister, my brother, really good friends, my cousins, aunts. So yeah, so fun stuff. But yeah, let's not talk about that's like if they came in your room and put like string of yarn halfway through and says, "Hey,
half and half
with that sibling you don't like."
Yeah, I mean, it's just I find it funny. Faithful to the Bay, but we gotta finish our season in Arizona. What?
What? No.
What is happening? But yeah, I got the Cardinals. You got the Cardinals too. So here we go. The next game everybody's gonna rush to on the TV. We got the 0-13 Jets going up against the 9-4 Rams. I mean, Rams. I got them. I got the Rams.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. That's it. It's.
All right. Let me see. I think I wanted to touch a little bit with that. No, I don't.
Yeah, I got nothing. Yeah, I try to.
It's kind of one of those things where you want to just be like, okay,
this is her. That's her. Just waiting for her to connect, and
Oops.
we'll get going here in a little bit.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah, so it's just gonna be the same. We're just gonna talk about the
what the heck?
this weekend.
Did this restart?
Do our picks and everything. And
did I lose
there
you?
she is.
I think you might have lost me.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Yeah,
No,
that's fine.
All right, 1 second.
That's what we get for making fun of the Jets who get this turn on us. But yeah, I got the Rams over the Jets. It's not even going to be close. I don't see how the Jets can even win this game. So we're going to move on to the next game. We're going to try to connect Maria back. Next game, we got the Chiefs going up against the Saints. Look, the Chiefs are, let me see here. Oh. Okay, hold on a second. So here's what we'll do. All right, so yeah, the Chiefs have won 10 straight road games. That's the longest active streak in the NFL. Give me Kansas City over the Chiefs or Kansas City over the Saints. I do not like what the Saints are doing offensively. Defensively, I like what they're doing. It's just I don't know where to go if you're a Saints fan with this. It's hard to imagine the Saints trying to keep up with the Chiefs this week. So give me the Chiefs. As I mentioned, we are trying to get Maria back. I think we can finally add her here. But yeah, the Chiefs are 12-1. They're owning the AFC West division right now. The Saints are 10-3. They're on top of the division, but Kansas City has won. They have won 10 straight road games. That's the longest active streak. And here she is. She's back. So I guess that's what we get for making fun of the Jets, huh?
That's what you guys get. Some on the back end of this, we have some kids moving some stuff around, moving some rooms around. Mike says, "Hey, look, I had to. So I have front and back Wi-Fi. So I go, okay, I need to move back to the front. So that was my fault. I apologize.
No
and
worries.
yeah, I have to have front and back Wi-Fi. Can you believe it? That's just how much it's being used in this house. Football streaming, YouTube streaming, it's all over the place.
It's everywhere.
But anyway, so again, we agreed on the Rams. I just feel like there's no question there for sure.
I mean, I'm kind of like hoping for an upset here, so I can look at all my Rams fans and just like drive down the street.
I almost went with it.
Like,
I almost said no, because Juan's gonna laugh at me when I say it, and you're gonna sit there stuck like, are you frozen, or you're just like waiting for a reaction for me thinking? But yeah, I don't know. The Jets, I mean, yeah, they put on a show, but I don't see them being able to pull that off. The Rams, especially with the playoff races, it's going to be hard to take these guys down, and it's not really, no.
Yeah. So let's just go to the next one. We got the Chiefs against the Saints. As I mentioned, I picked the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs in this matchup. Look, I don't know what the Saints are going to do offensively to try to keep up with Kansas City. Kansas City could score at any moment. They could score anyway at any time. The Saints, on the other hand, Drew Brees, I get it. They can win without him, but it helps that he's there.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Taysom Hill's a good athlete, not a full quarterback. Jameis Winston is a backup third stringer for a reason. And that's where I'm looking at. It's the quarterback thing for me, for the
Right.
Saints. That's why I'm going to go with the Chiefs. How can you not take the Chiefs over the Saints? It's just it's too hard to go for the Saints. You're rooting for them and you hope they put up a good game. I just can't see it this week, not against the Chiefs.
I thought about this game carefully, and I said, okay, you got KC going into the Dome. The Saints play pretty fairly well at home. But Kamara is like their leading rusher and their leading receiver. How is your running back your leading receiver? And I get it. Brees has been out of the picture for a little bit. We don't know what it's going to look like. Is he back this week?
I don't think so. I think they're going to have to roll with Taysom Hill again.
Okay, I have to look at that because, I still wouldn't even do it. And I know Cook's had some, hurt pains. He's been in and out, questionable. I know he had the injury. That was their offense bread and butter there. Again, the Kansas City is just on a path. As much as I want to keep lose. Can you lose? Can you lose? Can you lose? I doubt at this point that they can afford to take a trash game.
They can't.
They can't afford to take a trash game because you know what's going to be very important for Kansas City? I'm not very impressed with their play. Their offense, you're going to have to find a defense you're going to have to find an offense that can match it, and then you have to find a defense who could play 4 quarters to stop them.
Yeah.
Okay? We know that. We know that firsthand.
And there's only been one team literally to take them toe-to-toe, and that's the Raiders. Everybody else has just kind of been whatever.
Yeah, and that's basically what it is, and they were surprised. We very well had it, but again, if nobody has noticed that what happened in that game, I think most of us thought that was a sealed game. Do not give Mahomes less than he just needs 53 seconds on that clock, and that's proven. As much as it's pretty disgusting to see how well he is and how good he is, I finally have developed a full respect for that man.
You cannot. You can't hate on the man.
Yeah,
you can't. It's just.
Because it's not. And watching them, it's hard to watch them because they are doing that. But again, I was a little tossed up on this one, but I'm like, you know what? The Saints can bring all the defense they want, but they have to score points. And Mahomes, we're going to see a big game from Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
We're going to see a huge game from him. The young running back, he hasn't been since he had that injury.
It's tough.
The same. He hasn't, but you don't need that when you have a big 87 that's going to eat up the middle like that. The Saints do have a pretty good linebackers. Let's just hope, I don't know. You could say and hope in that, but I don't see them being able to stop that offense unless it's just
I'm hoping for a good game.
Off rhythm or something.
I'm hoping for a good game, but I can't see them beating the Chiefs this week. No way.
Yeah. So. I thought about it, but then I looked at, no, you know what? It's not going to happen. There's no way.
So here we go. Sunday Night Football. We got the Cleveland Browns against the New York Giants. Look, the Giants, they're kind of up in the air right now. They look good one week and they look terrible the next. And then the Browns look decent this year. So with all that being said, I'm going to go Cleveland over the Giants on this one. I think Cleveland knows that they can compete with anybody now. And they know that they have to win these games where they're favored to win. And they have to win. So with all that being said, I'm still going to go Cleveland over the Giants on this one.
I'm going to go Cleveland. I think what is Chubbs, he's shy of 1,000 yards. Even without him, they have a pass game. And you know what I like about that chemistry is that those veteran receivers, they love that young guy. They love him.
Yeah.
They love him. They're comfortable with him. He is a playmaker. He's a fighter, and we've seen that. Granted, the Ravens won that game, but he very well came back and said, you know what? Okay. And he took it downfield and was like, man, this kid can play. So they are in a very good position. They know what they're up against. That was a little bit humiliating what happened to them this past Monday, and that won't happen to them again. They won't allow that to happen again. They're there to contend. They see. This is great for that organization. This is great for the fans. Have they been the laughing stock for seasons now? But and Baker has been that key.
Oh yeah, no,
he has been the key to that. So they're very well one of those teams that will be on a mission. They're not going to stop. So I think Cleveland's definitely going to walk away with this one.
Oh yeah, And then lastly, Monday Night Football. So this is the last game. Hopefully everything stays calm. No COVID positives from here till tomorrow.
Please.
Like everybody's doing the right thing. We're actually going back to normal mode in the NFL. Look, it's the Steelers and the Bengals. So the Steelers, they dropped their last two. The upset against Washington, and then they played a Bills team that was just on a hot streak. So that happens. Cincinnati, ever since they lost Joe Burrow, it's like their fire just flamed out. Because I know Cincinnati wasn't winning, but at least you could tell that Joe Burrow was at least trying to make it competitive. So Cincinnati got it right by drafting Joe Burrow. That's not a debate anymore. Now for the Steelers, look, we get it. You dropped your last two. You're still one of the better teams in the NFL. And I know there's fans out there, well, they had a Mickey Mouse cakewalk. It's like, well, it's not their fault that the schedule makers put these games together. Like, it's not their fault. Like, the schedule makers did not know that the teams that they were going to play this year were going to be pretty rough. Like, they didn't know that. I'm not going to discount what the Steelers have done this year. The Steelers have the number one defense in the NFL. The only thing I don't trust about Pittsburgh, why I'm not picking them to win the Super Bowl, they have no run game. Like, at all. It doesn't matter. Beanie Snell, James Conner, it does not matter. Nobody. It's, to me, it's amazing that they got 11 wins with no run game. Like, a credit to the defense because they had to score a few times. But yeah, this is an easy one for me. I'm going to take the Steelers over the Bengals. I think the Steelers try to get their rhythm back of winning again because they lost the number one seed. So now they have to. Yeah. Now they have something to fight for. Now they're not comfortable. They don't have to be comfortable anymore. And if they keep slipping up, they could very well lose their second seed and then drop to number 3. And that's the thing about football. You can't get too comfortable. You have to keep driving. Yeah. You have to keep driving because in Pittsburgh's case, they just lost the number 1 seed. If they lose this one and Buffalo keeps winning, guess who's going to jump them? Now you go to number 3. And that's 2 and 3. That's a huge difference in this year's playoffs. That's a huge difference.
It is huge. And it's funny that you say that. If they were to drop that 3, guess who they're going to be facing? I don't think anybody wants to face their division like in the
not 3 times
like that. You don't want to face your division in that. Yeah.
It's hard. It's already hard playing them twice.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got to play them again. There's no secrets anymore. There's none. They know what you do. They know what you're running. They know your pros. They know your cons. It's not fun facing your division rival 3 times. You try to avoid that. And it's happened. It's happened every year, almost every year, where it's like, oh man, we got to play these guys for a 3rd time. And it's like, well, crap, we really can't show anything new because we've already played them twice. Like, it's hard.
And it's proof. And then the coaches will say, and it's unfortunate that the Raiders took the dive that they did because KC was like, wow. And I think we still taunt Kelsey that he says our name after winning a game against Denver. That was
funny. Weird. I was actually kind of concerned because I was like, I know he kind of took a hit. Is he okay? Like, why?
Yeah.
But I don't know because even my friend who's a Kansas City fan, he even said like, man, there was at one point he was like, if things keep going the way they do, I don't want to play you guys again. I don't.
Yeah. And I think Kansas City themselves, and there were fans, very respectable fans in the conversation after, the NFL, after they put up the final score. I think even Mahomes was crediting. I mean, I don't think he's ever expected to play us the way he did. And again, if we talk about how we continued, I think if anybody they had to face was not going to be us at that point. But unfortunately, it's, tables have turned a lot. We just don't know what's going to happen as the NFL.
It
could just be a crazy wild weekend. I anticipate next weekend to be very exciting, but let's get through this weekend. Next weekend, I think, is going to be really wild. That's where you're going to start to see who really. But again, they're Pittsburgh. They're a little shamed right now. Tomlinson doesn't like that. He doesn't like his team.
No, absolutely
and he
not.
hates it. He does not like it. And I like what he's done with that. He keeps those guys disciplined and stuff. There was some speculation of letting him go and stuff, but there's a reason why he's still there.
Oh, yeah.
Still got that team together. But obviously,
I
think Steelers, they're in the hunt. They've seen what Buffalo can do. They don't like that they've lost their number 1 seed, where they, there's I just don't. I don't see Ben being very successful on the road.
Oof. You're going to take Bengals this week?
No,
Oh,
on
okay.
the road in the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, no.
Here we go.
No. I just know that they have to fight for this. They have to fight, continue to fight, not to get backed up.
Oh yeah,
I don't see Ben doing well on the road in the playoffs.
No, I can't see it either.
If he has to go visit,
I can't see it either.
That's gonna be good for them at all.
All right, and that's gonna wrap it up. That is all the games for this week. All right, so that was your debut for the show. How did you feel?
Feel good. Man, I was like, all right. So I like our differences are really good key games. We obviously know the obvious, but I was wondering too. So I was like, I already know he's gonna pick this team. So we have what 2 games do we have? I think it was
it was the Bears. That's the one.
Okay.
And then the Buccaneers.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the one. That's the one where it's like, we'll see what happens.
We'll see. Everybody is witness here.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Come back and visit.
Everybody that commented, everybody that watched the show, I thank you. Again, this is Maria. For any Raider fan that is on this page, go check out her page. She is an admin for the Only Nation Raider Nation Facebook group, and it's a fun group. It's just you got to be careful because there's some fans that can take it, and then there's some fans that just, it's rough. It's rough.
Oh yeah. Today was one of those days. We had our work cut out for us. We already got told about it. We already got warnings, community standards and stuff. We get them on regular. So we've able to put these keywords, and we're alerted because they're threatened to shut the page down in the group. And you're going to have those ones that don't like us.
They're going to push the envelope.
Saying the admins on this page just suck. Says, okay, cool, and stuff. So today was busy for us. I mean, us admins have a chat group that we're on daily. Like, man, can we shut off notifications for a little bit? Like, can we need some rest? I feel like we're constantly.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, it was fun. It was pretty wild today. So I got to go in there and check some things out and see who doesn't make the cut tonight.
Exactly. So yeah, follow her group. They're a very fun group. I love it. I love the talks. I love the conversations. I love the joking because people by now know me. I'm just more of a calm jokester anyway.
Yeah.
So I might be pissed, but I like to joke about it still. It's what I heard, but.
And it's funny. For the most, it's comical. These guys that get worked up, that I don't know. I'm wondering. Sometimes you gotta wonder. I'm thinking of them just tossing and turning, thinking of how much they don't like Carr, or how much they think of the defense or offense.
It's kind of. Like disturbing to think that, but
it's sad. I'm sorry, and I shouldn't even say that. I'm really I can say that there's this guy that just has it out for. I had to tell him. I says, you know what? I'm gonna think that you lost your first girlfriend to a Raider fan, other than you. Like there's something wrong that you hate him. I go. I'm gonna be convinced that you're either that. Like he was just at it, just constantly.
It's hard.
I can't do this.
Like I get it. I get it. It's hard. It's hard to be a Raiders fan at times. I get it, but it's hard to be a fan in general of your team.
Oh yeah.
I mean, believe me, there's times I get on the Angels website or the Angels group and I curse out the owner. Like I literally have it out for the owner because I think he's one of the stupidest owners in baseball. But. That's my opinion, and people defend them, and it's like, all right, whatever. It happens. We move on. On. But, Maria, thank you so much. We will definitely.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We will definitely have to do this next week because you're the only brave enough to do this. So it is hard to find people because when I tell them, all right, let's do it, like, okay. All right, we're going to go live. Well, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm not so sure about that because it's how do I say it? People don't like to have receipts on them, and I'll leave it at that.
No, and I'm not okay. So I want to know what Eric said he agreed on something. So I'll ask him what he agreed on while he types that. But you know me, I carry my receipts in my back pocket, and I will admit when I'm wrong. I will, and I'll be the first one to say when I post in my group, yeah, Carr wasn't favorable to me, but the man has proved this and that and stuff. I've had people go back and screenshot and send me, well, you said this that time, and inbox me. I go, wow. The inboxes I get are insane. I get inboxes all the time.
I do get a few of that.
And women don't know nothing. I'm like,
oof. No, I
Yeah.
think the best one I got this weekend on Sunday. I think it was Sunday. The Cowboys beat the Bengals, and I picked the Bengals because I thought, well, the defense is bad. I think the Bengals.
Right.
And in my inbox, I got like 25 Cowboy fans, big cat, and all the same messages. How about them Cowboys? And I'm just like, you guys beat the Bengals. Calm down, calm down. Art Moreno is a bad owner.
He's in baseball mode. Okay. Well, see, Eric, this is where Juan and I are going to have our separations. We're going to have to determine fan for fan and see where we stand on baseball, because I am a San Francisco Giants fan. So we're going to have to do something interesting for baseball. We'll see how it works.
I go for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. I'm trying to say that with the straightest face I can, because I still do not.
I see that. You tried. You did really well. Well, I'll tell you what, February pitchers, catcher check-in, you can say it again, and we'll see how good you feel about it. Oh, gosh. But again, it was fun. Thank you again. We'll have to do it. We'll see how this weekend goes. Tomorrow night will be very interesting. I'm actually really quick going to be joining. Fresno has a Knights of the Shield booster club. They do a lot of community organization. They do a lot of fundraisers. So they're having something in downtown Fresno where they're going to do coats and blankets for the homeless out here because it's a little cold.
Nice.
So they posted that. I'm really good friends with a lot of them. So I'm going to be joining them tomorrow. So look for me to go live in the Raider Nation page. They're live and seeing what that crowd looks like. And then hopefully we have a really good outcome tomorrow. Hopefully at this time tomorrow we're not with umbrellas.
Hopefully by this time I'm not halfway through my Jack Daniels again. I had to get a new one. Yeah. It's rough, man.
I'll be over there. Yeah. I better make sure that, told my son, if you don't hear from me, I walked home.
Oh, man. I left the car.
Because I needed to get,
I left the car. Forget the car. Right. It's there. It's there.
Yeah, I needed to walk. If I didn't walk, I wasn't going to drive. Okay, but let's do it. Good luck tomorrow for all you Raider fans. Good luck for everybody who has teams out there this weekend. Rooting for you if your team is in the playoffs. I am not a basher hater. I don't wish the worst on any team. I like for everybody to succeed, unfortunately. But if you and our teams have to face, I don't know you. No. I don't know you. Yeah, but it can be fun. It's going to be a good weekend. I'm looking forward to football this weekend. Definitely to next week.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again, Maria, and we will see you next week, okay?
All right. Go Raiders.
Go Raiders. Take care.
All right, you too.
So that was Maria with her first guest appearance on the show. I want to thank everybody that did comment and that did love the show. I love the positive attitude. Sorry that it kind of took a little bit longer than it should, but it's our first show. We'll get better at it. So again, everybody have a wonderful night. Good luck to all you guys. Good luck to all the teams this week. It's crunch time, man. December's here and playoffs are just right around the corner. Take care.